The 2024-2025 NFL season has come to an end in spectacular fashion. The Eagles upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs to stop the Chiefs' reign of terror and potential three-peat. However, despite Patrick Mahomes' tragic failing in the big game, Jalen Hurts winning a Super Bowl despite being called a mediocre quarterback by many, or Josh Allen getting his first MVP in a close race with Lamar Jackson, there is another quarterback whose name is on the tip of everyone's tongue. That quarterback? Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels has had an unprecedentedly impressive season. The second overall pick from LSU has broken out in a way that nobody expected. In the regular season, Jayden Daniels had 480 passing attempts for 331 completions, a 69% completion rate. He had 3,568 passing yards with 25 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions. Jayden Daniels was also able to overcome some pretty great challenges, being able to put up some pretty high numbers on some of the best defenses in the league, such as the Eagles and the Ravens, even managing to beat the Eagles in one of their 2 regular season matchups. Furthermore, Jayden was able to beat Joe Burrow in one of those legendary shootouts that Burrow is known for. So the question becomes, how did Jayden Daniels manage this? Jayden Daniels' success has a lot of factors, but I want to start with one of the major things that most certainly did not participate in Jayden's success: his defense. The Washington Commanders' defense was terrible this year, and you can see that in the point totals put up against them. On top of this, Jayden Daniels has had to come into a historically bad Commanders team, spending most of the recent seasons fighting with the New York Giants for the bottom position in the NFC East. The one time in recent history the Commanders did manage to clinch the division was only because everyone else somehow managed to do worse than they did. Now, this isn't to say that Jayden Daniels has had to do everything on his own. He does have some reasonable offensive weapons at his disposal. Terry McLaurin is a legitimate wide receiver, and the Commanders have a reasonable dual running back threat with Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. Lastly, Zach Ertz at tight end is a veteran who has the capability to get things done when he needs to. However, none of these players are really the caliber of player you'd expect to see on a team that has been as successful as the Commanders have been. Not to mention that the offensive line isn't particularly good either, which often leads to Jayden being forced out of the pocket to make a play. All this put together makes it seem like it would be impossible for a rookie quarterback to get a positive win rate, much less make it to the NFC Championship game. And yet, Jayden Daniels has managed to do just that. There are a few important factors I believe set Jayden Daniels apart from most of the rookie quarterbacks who often have trouble performing at the highest level straight out of college. Firstly, the coaching Jayden Daniels has received has been instrumental to his success. Cliff Kingsbury, the Commanders' offensive coordinator, has done an incredible job of developing Jayden and developing an offensive scheme that plays towards Jayden's strengths and avoids some of the weaknesses of the Commanders' offense. Cliff does a few key things that allow Jayden to not be overwhelmed by the more complex and difficult defensive schemes he now faces in the NFL. Cliff does this through utilizing a lot of high percentage plays, which are plays around the line of scrimmage such as screen passes, short passes, and runs from either the quarterback or running back. To this end, the Commanders use a lot of run-pass options, also known as RPOs, occasionally with screens available for the pass to give Jayden options without pressuring him to make quick reads against defenses that are running better schemes with better players than what he's used to. This leads to most plays having an ideal place for the ball to get, whether that's a run down the middle, a screen to the tight end, or a short pass to a receiver. Cliff also likes to keep his offensive scheme simple for Jayden by limiting the motion during the snap. The Commanders have a pre-snap motion on about 44% of their plays, which is about average. However, during the snap, the Commanders have some of the least movement in the league, with only about 12% of their plays having motion during the snap. This keeps things easy for Jayden and lets him focus on important things like getting the ball into a receiver's hands without having to worry about where the receivers are on the field due to motion shifting their positions. While Cliff's offensive schemes and the choices it gives Jayden are nice, none of it is possible without Jayden's ability to correctly diagnose where the ball should go on all of these plays. Jayden's mobility and athleticism are important parts in allowing him the time he needs to make these decisions. Jayden Daniels holds the ball longer than most other quarterbacks in the NFL, and as we discussed, the offensive lines are not quite up to par. So why is Jayden able to make passes and not take a bunch of sacks? As I mentioned, it's his mobility. You may notice Jayden rarely has a running back in the pocket with him to protect him from blitzes. This is because Cliff relies heavily on Jayden's ability to manage himself in the pocket, and doing that works. By relying on Jayden's ability to manage himself in the pocket, the running back is freed up to give yet another option for Jayden to throw to. This creates a numbers advantage downfield, especially when the defense is blitzing. With this numbers advantage, Jayden has a much easier time choosing where to throw the ball, since the correct choice is much clearer. And instead, Jayden can focus on exclusively moving in the pocket and avoiding a sack. This combination of mobility and a downfield numbers advantage is what makes it so difficult to do anything against Jayden Daniels. It's so difficult to scheme against Jayden because you either have to blitz him and remove guys from the backfield, who you need to stop the Commanders from getting a numbers advantage downfield, or you have to keep those guys back. But then the Commanders will either run the ball with an RPO or Jayden will be given plenty of time to get the ball out with a good pass. This brings us to the last major advantage, Jayden Daniels' accuracy. While Jayden doesn't have a particularly strong arm, he is accurate when it comes to the throws he can make. In Jayden's final season at LSU, he recorded a remarkable 99.2 passer rating, an adjusted completion rating of 79.6%, and an adjusted completion rating of 69.1% on passes over 20 yards. By combining Jayden's lethal accuracy with his mobility to create a numbers advantage downfield, the Commanders have been able to create an offensive scheme that strikes fear into the hearts of even the best defensive coordinators. Despite being a rookie and having very little time to develop or train under a more experienced quarterback, Jayden has proven his ability to hang with the best of them, and Cliff Kingsbury has done a great job of building an offense around Jayden's strengths. We've seen rookie quarterbacks do impressive things in recent years, and even have more impressive records or placings than Jayden Daniels. But it is undeniable that something is different with Jayden's style of play. Jayden has real potential to be one of those quarterbacks. You know the ones I'm talking about. Several analysts and commentators have referred to Jayden's rookie season as the best of all time. And while I think we may be ignoring some quarterbacks of the past, these words of support show how scared the rest of the NFL should be when it comes to Jayden Daniels. In my opinion, Jayden Daniels has the ability to become a real terror in the league offensively. His mix of accuracy and athleticism make him the perfect dual-threat quarterback and give him the ability to reach incredible heights. Will Jayden be able to live up to the now grandiose expectations of him after his rookie season? I think so, but that remains to be seen. Thanks for watching.